Egypt, the former home of the Pharaohs, is a fascinating tourist destination with glittering buildings and tombs that awe travelers. Though not all of it consists of historical monuments and tourist destinations. All types of tourists may find something to do in Egypt thanks to the enormous expanses of desert that are perfect for 4WD excursions, the world-class coral reefs and wrecks in the Red Sea, and cruises on the renowned Nile River. Egypt provides travelers with the opportunity to design itineraries that combine culture, adventure, and relaxation all in one trip because there is so much to see and do there. Using this list of Egypt's greatest sights and attractions, you can organize your sightseeing. Luxor's temples and tombs. The Upper Egyptian town of Luxor features a ton of tourist attractions, including the Valley of the Kings, Karnak Temple, and Memorial Temple of Hatshepsut. Ancient Thebes, the seat of the New Kingdom pharaohs, is home to more attractions than the majority of people can see in a single trip. You'll understand why Luxor continues to captivate historians and archaeologists after spending a few days here examining the vibrant tomb wall paintings and marveling at the enormous columns in the temples. Aswan. Aswan, located among the Nile sweeping curves, is the most calm town in all of Egypt. This is the ideal area to stop, unwind for a few days, and take in the laid-back environment because it is surrounded by orange-hued dunes. Take the river ferry to Elephantine Island and explore the Nubian settlement's vibrant alleys. Then take a camel to St. Simeon's Desert Monastery on Aswan's east bank. There are many historical monuments nearby and several temples, including Philae Temple on its island, but one of the most well-liked things to do in Aswan is to unwind and observe river life. Diving the Red Sea. As interesting as the temples and tombs on land is another realm that lies beneath the Red Sea. The Red Sea's coral reefs are well known among scuba divers for their soft coral displays as well as their abundance of marine life, which includes everything from vibrant reef fish and nudibranchs to sharks, dolphins, turtles, rays, and even dugongs. Sharm el-Sheikh, located on the Sinai Peninsula and closest to the reefs of Ras Mohammed National Park and the Straits of Tiran, is the most well-known town to base oneself in for divers. South Sinai's beach life. On the Sinai Peninsula, in Egypt's South Sinai region, there is a beach for every kind of vacationer. A resort town in the style of Europe, Sharm el-Sheikh is crammed with 5-star hotels, foreign eateries, and a ton of entertainment options. Many of the resorts in this area are family-friendly and are popular with Europeans on winter sun holidays. Dahab is a laid-back beach town with a backpacker's heart that values the desert as much as it does the sea. It is famous for its inexpensive dive packages and for the lagoon beach area where windsurfing and kitesurfing are the most popular sports. Egyptian Museum. One of the greatest museum collections in the world, Cairo's Egyptian Museum is a treasure trove of the pharaonic civilization. There are a bewildering number of exhibits housed in the dilapidated Pink Palace in central Cairo. It's a disorganized space with scant labeling and a serious lack of chronological order. An amazing piece of antique art or statues may be found around every corner here, which would be the focus of any museum. The Hall of Golden Artifacts recovered from Tutankhamun's tomb in the Valley of the Kings is the centerpiece of the museum. Alexandria. There aren't many places that can compare to Alexandria's history. This seaside city, which was founded by Alexander the Great and was also the birthplace of Cleopatra and Erasmataz renegade city of the Mediterranean, has an unrivaled charm of a bygone era. Even though there aren't many historical artifacts from Alexandria's glorious past preserved to see today, the city's lengthy Corniche seaside boulevard leading to its fort is nevertheless a popular summer destination for Egyptians and tourists from other countries to enjoy the cooling sea breezes. Siwa Oasis. The peaceful antidote to the bustle of Egyptian towns is Siwa. One of the most stunning locations in the western desert is this lovely tiny oasis, which is flanked by date palm farms and several hot springs. Siwa village is built around the ruins of the fortress of Shaili, a massive mud brick fortification that dominates the landscape. Throughout the larger oasis area are scattered temple ruins, including the Temple of the Oracle, where Alexander the Great is reputed to have sought guidance. This is a great place to unwind and take it easy for a few days, and it also makes a great base for organizing excursions into the nearby desert. Red Sea beaches. Travelers seeking a break from touring temples might find stretches of beach along Egypt's Red Sea coastline. The resorts dotted along the shoreline near Hurghada come to life in the winter as European families travel there as part of vacation packages. The main benefit of picking a resort on the Red Sea coast over one on the Sinai Peninsula is that Luxor is easily accessible by day trip, making this the greatest location to visit for beach life while still being close to some of Egypt's most iconic landmarks. Monastery of St. Anthony. The Monastery of St. Anthony has been a functioning monastery since the 4th century and is hidden within the craggy northern mountains of the Red Sea coast. Within the fortress-like compound, the Church of St. Anthony includes stucco wall paintings that date from the 11th and 12th centuries and are regarded as one of the most significant collections of Egyptian Coptic art in the world. The monastery at St. Anthony's is extremely far away. Hiring a driver from Cairo or Hurghada is the most convenient way to get here if you don't have your own transportation. Pyramids of Giza. The Pyramids of Giza are one of the most well-known sites in the world and the final remaining example of one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. These tombs of the pharaohs Cheops, Chephren, and Mycerinus, guarded by the enigmatic Sphinx, have captivated visitors throughout history and are typically at the top of most visitors' lists of tourist attractions to see in Egypt and frequently the first site they head to after arriving. These megalithic monuments to deceased pharaohs, which are located on the outskirts of Cairo's sprawling desert, are still a breathtaking sight today and an unquestionable highlight of any journey to Egypt. Cruising the Nile. The Nile is what defines Egypt. A multi-day voyage down this renowned waterway, which witnessed the beginning of the Pharaonic era, is a popular tourist activity in Egypt. One of Egypt's most serene sights is sunrise and sunset over the date palm-lined riverbanks, which are backed by sand dunes. The Nile is also the most soothing way to see the temples that dot the banks of the river on the path between Luxor and Aswan. However, if you want a slower-paced, less crowded experience and don't mind a little bit of roughing it, you can also cruise the Nile on a felucca, one of Egypt's ancient lateen-sailed wooden boats, which also lets you design your own schedule. Abu Simbel. Even though the country is covered in temples, Abu Simbel is unique. This is Ramses II's huge temple, which is guarded by enormous statues outside and lavishly decorated within with wall murals. In addition to being renowned for its enormous size, Abu Simbel is also well known for the amazing engineering feat performed there by UNESCO in the 1960s, which saw the relocation of the entire temple from its original location in order to prevent it from being submerged by the Aswan Dam's rising waters. Nowadays, visiting Abu Simbel is as much about celebrating the success of the global campaign to preserve the temple complex as it is about staring in awe at Ramses II's magnificent construction efforts. Explore Islamic Cairo. Mosques, Islamic universities, and monuments from the Fatimid to the Mamluk eras are jammed into the evocative, winding lanes of the capital's Islamic Cairo area. Here is where you'll find Khan el-Mays like Khalili's souk, where coppersmiths and other artisans still maintain little workshops and stalls are crammed with spices, linens, and perfume. The market is surrounded by a maze of roads that are home to some of the most exquisitely preserved Islamic structures. There is a ton of history to discover here. Saqqara. The Giza pyramids are well known, but Egypt also has other pyramids up its sleeve. Saqqara, a large necropolis of tombs and pyramids that was used during each period of pharaonic power, is a day journey from Cairo. Its Old Kingdom step pyramid, which demonstrates how ancient Egyptian architects expanded their engineering expertise to finally produce a genuine pyramid shape, is its most famous feature. However, there is much more to see than just the step pyramid, as some of the nearby tombs, like the mastaba of T, feature some of the best tomb art you will ever see. White Desert. White Desert National Park, located south of Bahariya Oasis in the Western Desert, is Egypt's quirkiest natural wonder. Here, bizarrely sculpted chalk pinnacles and enormous boulders tower over the desert plateau, giving the impression that icebergs have become stranded in the middle of a sandy environment. This incredibly beautiful area, which resembles something from a science fiction film, is a favorite location for 4WD desert excursions and overnight camping since Bahariya Oasis makes it simple to arrange both activities. Abydos Temple. One of the most intriguing aesthetic artifacts from ancient Egypt is the Temple of Osiris in Abydos. Some of the best relief work in Egypt may be seen in its hypostyle halls, which are decorated with papyrus-headed columns and have figures depicting the pharaoh and the gods of ancient Egypt. The temple is far less visited than the temple sites at Luxor and the Nileside temples to the south because it is located north of Luxor and off the usual cruise ship route. As a result, you frequently have the opportunity to explore the temple's hallways alone or with just a few other people. St. Catherine's Monastery. St. Catherine's, one of the world's oldest monasteries, is located in the Sinai Peninsula's desert mountains, close to Mount Sinai, where it is believed that Moses received the Ten Commandments. The flaming bush and a magnificent collection of religious art, manuscripts, and iconography can be found in this desert monastery. The majority of tourists in this area combine a visit to St. Catherine's with a trek up Mount Sinai to catch the dawn or sunset. If you want an easy way, follow the camel trail. If you want better views, ascend the renowned steps of repentance. Temple of Hathor. Although Dendera itself was a significant religious center from the beginning of ancient Egypt, the Temple of Hathor at Dendera was constructed in the late Pharaonic era and expanded throughout the Roman era. Here, the reliefs and decorations are beautifully preserved. The columns topped with the heads of the Egyptian goddess Hathor and the wall reliefs of the Roman Emperor Tiberius paying homage to the Egyptian gods should be particularly noted when in the hypostyle hall, which was constructed by Tiberius.